What's going on, everybody? It's Sean. Welcome to the restart of my podcast where we're coming back with season two. Now, I know I've been gone for a while. I've been procrastinating. I'm sorry, but life has been life. And so I hope you forgive me. But I'm trying to come back and give you quality content. But today, we're going to have a conversation with some Black fathers. Now, I have a group of men, and all of us have met for the first time. I knew a few from childhood or high school, but a lot of us are just coming from different backgrounds, and we're just going to have a candid conversation with you guys, answer some of the questions that you left on my post. And, we're just going to be real and upfront. So let me go ahead and bring these fellas in, and we're all going to introduce ourselves. All right. All right, fellas, what's going on?
How's it going?
What up, though?
Man, it's going. Georgia, where you get this?
I told you. Yeah, I brought it. Remember? I brought it.
Oh,
You know,
Where did you get this background from?
just in my house. You know how it is.
It's the
man,
piano for me.
Yeah.
man, that's the first thing I saw. That looks so beautiful.
I put it. I put it on.
Ah,
I promise
man,
you
look
that's
at
not
this
that's not your
shop, man.
house. That's not your
ah,
house.
don't hate on them now, dang.
Hey, it'll make you shout, man. Yeah.
So that's
That
your
look
whole
cold.
piano back there.
Yeah, I play it sometimes. Sometimes.
Oh,
Okay,
all right. You just a regular Ray Charles out here.
okay.
I'm gonna make a doobity doo, baby.
So where
Mm,
you at that is sunny outside is my question.
Yeah, I'm in Hawaii. You know.
Okay.
mm,
That's where I spend my holidays at in
All
Hawaii.
right. All
that makes
right.
sense.
Get that
That's
real
right. That's right,
trop.
black man. You do the thing. You do the thing, black man. All right. So Jaraje, let's start with you. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell what type of father you are, married, single, and all that jazz. And then Jaraje, then go ahead, Carlson, and then Shad.
Well, yeah, I am a single father of two. Um, Man, you ever find this weird that you know yourself until somebody asks you to tell you about yourself? Am
Every
I the
time.
only one that get that? Like,
No, I got that too.
yeah, because like I'm recently in school, so when they tell you about yourself, and I'm like, I'm black.
Good
I
place to
mean,
start.
yeah, I don't. Just ask me some questions and I answer them for you. I know me. I just can't give you a presentation about me.
Yeah,
But just know I'm a black man with two black sons trying to navigate the world.
that's all it needs to be sometimes. All right, Carlson.
All right, so I'm Carlson Vashad Randolph, and I usually go by my middle name, Vashad Randolph. If a person was to Google me, they'll see that I was on the Steve Harvey show during COVID. I had made a post talking about I was looking for my future wife, and it went viral. Wasn't my intention, but it did anyway. So I had the pleasure of speaking with him back during COVID. I'm 31 years young. I'm a military veteran. I've been in the Army National Guard, Tennessee Army National Guard to be exact, since I want to say January 2010. Still serving currently. Went to college, Middle Tennessee State University. Got my bachelor's in accounting. I also own a neon sign e-commerce business, and I am a father to a beautiful 7-year-old daughter. Her name is Amaya Randolph, and she is my pride and joy. And as far as the type of father that I am, I like to be as hands-on as possible. And the reason being is because time is one thing we'll never get back. Our kids will only be kids one time. And I do my best to make sure that I instill in her positive affirmations, because that's important to speak life, Proverbs 18:21. Um, I'm living now in Nashville, just accepted a new job. That's blessed me to be able to take care of my daughter, because I was without a job earlier this year, but God saw fit for me to get a new opportunity in Nashville, Tennessee, and I come back on weekends to visit her until she moves back up there with me after the summer. I am a single parent, and kind of like we alluded to earlier, when we say single parent, it's not that we are just single men. It's, for my definition of single parent, it means that I'm the only parent that's actively providing and taking care of for our child, and that's just a fact that I just wanted to state for the record. But that's who I am, and I'm blessed to be here. So thanks for having me again.
I
Okay,
feel
and
sorry for you. The next person up, I feel sorry for you.
Bro, that's all I'm thinking.
How
I'm
you gonna
like,
back that up?
yo, I'm thinking. I said, okay, he done said he done did some service, so I had to have killed Bin Laden for me to
Yeah.
come close to be like, yeah, I killed Bin Laden a few years back. No big deal. All
Yeah,
right,
no big deal at
Following
all.
up the man who was after Martin Luther King after I Have a Dream speech.
all right.
Then he already in a bad spot because he in his car like Derek Jackson right now.
Oh
So
yeah.
Real quick, nobody even knew
Bring
I was
back,
in the car until you brought it up.
it's a
But
whole seat next to you.
in the steering wheel. Then
it damn sure is. Listen, all right, I'm. I can follow that up. Okay, I've followed up big performances before. My
Mhm.
name is Mushab Moore. From Detroit. Currently living in Los Angeles at the moment. Uh, what was the other questions?
What type of father are you? How many
Type of
kids you
father.
got? You
I
single,
have two
married, divorced?
two adopted kids. Two adopted kids. Don't ask why. Um, type of father am I? A good one? That's they didn't say that. They said like involved and stuff. I'm good. Like cause I'm the fun one, and the fun one is the best one every time. Rules are important. Discipline is important, but fun can't copy that. Can't copy fun. Uh, what else? What type of father am I? Fun one. Uh, I don't know, man. I needed a script. You should have sent me these questions. I could have wrote it down, had an
I,
answer.
I did send you the questions.
I thought if I stood still, you would think I glitched. Listen, listen. Okay, I
No,
don't need this from
Rajay
you,
glitched
Sean.
because his background taking up too much data.
No, I
I'm
needed that.
sorry,
I needed that
audience.
so y'all didn't attack me. But no, yeah, adopted two kids. I'm no longer with their mom, but we just talked today actually too. She want me to buy her something. But yeah, just a single man, single father using Carlson. I'm sorry, what you say you usually go by? I didn't hear the middle name you go by.
Vashad.
Vashad. All right, so just follow what Vashad said. Single father in a certain aspect of things, and yeah, man, that's it.
And you killed Bin Laden.
Yeah.
And I killed Bin Laden. No, I shot him. My bullet didn't take him out. It was dog. The dog that went on the tour got all the credit. But they gonna cover up Black History. You know how that
But
goes,
you,
Sean.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah.
The revolution will not be televised.
Malcolm X.
Every time.
All right, so I guess I'll introduce myself. I'm Sean. I am a divorced and remarried father of seven, five girls and two boys. And as Carlson said, that means five weddings, five proms, five graduations, five daddy I needs. But that was just the girls. We ain't including the two boys. They got proms too. So
That's just a suit and a haircut. Them girls.
Suit and haircut.
Woo!
Yeah.
that
You
just
gonna have
means
me start.
look, I just need
It's okay.
multiple streams of income. That's what I need.
We're gonna start a
But
GoFundMe.
Yeah.
a
That or spell
kickstart,
some pizza kits for you.
I'm gonna put all of them in Girl Scouts, do Girl Scout cookies.
Mm.
All right, so let's get started. God, we just come before you. We ask that this live stream just give some insight on what we're trying to do. We ask that you get the glory because we're trying to reach this younger generation of fathers of black men and just spread positivity around in the world that needs some so desperately. In your name we pray. Amen.
man.
Okay.
All right, so let's get started. The ladies sent some questions, as you guys saw on the post that I made. So let's go through to the first one. This one was on Carlson. You want to go Vashad or Carlson?
Either or is fine. Interchangeable.
All
Either.
right. I'm gonna do Carlson because we got two shots. I'm gonna get confused.
Right.
All right. So Alexis Lawless wrote, "What is the pivotal point for you What helped you with the transition from boy to man? And whoever wants to pick that up.
Well, I kick it off first,
All
if
right.
you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
I think what really installed it for me was actually my son. You know, when I turned 18, I was like, okay, of course I gotta, get a job or whatever the case may be. But I think my son helped me hone my skills as a man, because when I had my son, I had to think sharper. I had to do things that I wouldn't normally even think about. Like, I had to go get a birth certificate. Do you know how hard it is to get a birth certificate
Mm.
nowadays?
Very.
Yeah. So, and when you think about, you don't think about putting other people on your insurance, and you don't think about none of this stuff until you have when you have a child. It hones in on your adulting skills, and it's not saying that you're gonna get everything right every time, but
Mhm.
it does sharpen your skills as a man, as a person. Just it sharpens your humanity, in my opinion. And that was the leap when I said, you know what, I'm not gonna spend no money on me personally, because I know my son wants this, not need this. He wants this, so I'm willing to put my needs on the back burner so he can have his wants. And that was dawned on me like, dang, I'm really an adult out here now.
Hmm. Okay.
That's real.
And may I?
Yeah, go ahead. Just
Okay.
jump right on in.
Okay. Perfect. Appreciate that. I was gonna say for me, I grew up, and I have to preface it by saying this so we have context and what was my pivotal point from boy to man. My mother and my father, they weren't married. They worked together for a brief period of time. I do remember that for a brief moment in time. And but growing up, I didn't have him there. Um, and we have a relationship now and everything like that. But growing up, he wasn't there. I did have a stepfather, but I never had a true connection with a man with a father figure growing up in my household, right? And then phase two of my life, when I moved from Brownsville, Tennessee, aka West Tennessee, to Memphis, Tennessee, I met my godfather, who's deceased and passed away last November. So it's been almost a year, but I've known him more than half of my life. And he showed me what manhood and fatherhood was all about, right? And that was the pivotal point for me, meeting my godfather, where I saw him have a family. I saw not only a family, but a happy family. We used to joke, we used to laugh, we used to play. He included me as a part of his family, and even he was a police officer. And even in the city, he would tell people in Memphis, because Memphis is pretty small, he would tell people, no, that's my son. He didn't say that's my godson. He would consider me his son. Even the day when it was time for us to go to the hospital, and we saw it, and I saw the site that I didn't want to see, I heard the officers, other officers, his colleagues would say, "Oh, that's his son," because that's what he would reference me as, right? So seeing him and feeling that I was included in the family, and feeling like I mattered, and feeling like I was seen, that was the pivotal point for me, where I said, "Hey, I look forward to fatherhood. I look forward to becoming a man one day," right? He was in the
Mhm.
military. I went ahead and joined the military. He was a great example for that. I went to college. He instilled that into me, pursue something that I could, take care of a family with. And of course that day, September the 16th, 2016, when my daughter was born, we all know, we all been there before. That definitely changes you. You see that you have somebody that's dependent. That's why they call it dependence. They're depending on you to make the decisions that'll cause them to either thrive or perish,
That's
honestly
right.
and truly. So I thank God for blessing us all with that, because a lot of people aren't blessed with that opportunity, and that can handle that opportunity of being able to say that they're fathers. It's easy to be a daddy, but it's not easy to be a father. So those two things really pivoted me to be like, hey, I'm going from boy to man, seeing a good example, and then fatherhood, becoming a father on that day. So yeah.
That's real.
Mhm.
Derek Jackson.
Listen, I'm listen to both of them speak lets me know, like, okay, I may have made a mistake when I told Sean I'd do this. These men have experience in words. I my Let me see. What was the question? You going to keep? Tell me the question.
All right, the question was, what was the pivotal point for you that helped transition you from boy to man?
Oh, okay. So I met my ex about 10 years ago now. She already had a 4-year-old daughter. And on our first date, I had told her, oh, I hate kids. I never want any kids. I hate kids. We was at a Chinese spot on 6 Mile, 7 Mile. And she was like, oh, I got a daughter. Whole date got weird. The rest of the day was awkward and weird. I'm thinking, okay, all right, I ain't gonna see her again. Might as well get on some of these social media date apps. But we kept talking, kept talking. Eventually, she got comfortable enough to introduce me to her daughter. While I was at work, I was at Dollar General. Met her daughter. We shared some fruit snacks. I'm like, oh, okay. Time go by. I'm spending more time with both of them. And the moment that really hit me, transitioned me, I picked her up from school, and I had the booster seat. I had to try to figure out how to put in my car. I had the seat, picked her up from school. Now I have this kid with me, and she talking about eating. I'm t- I'm 20, whatever I am. I don't remember which age I was, but whatever age I was poor. So she wants to eat some fast food now, and I'm like, oh, I gotta feed this, don't I? I'm not used to having kids with me and around me all the time. I'm like, okay, we get some food. I'm watching her just happily just make a mess of the food. I'm like, dang, okay, that's not bad. And every time I would pick her up, we just kept going somewhere for food. I made it a trip. She'll tell you now, like, yeah, I want you to pick me up so we get something to eat. Taco Bell, Captain J's. I never fed her nothing healthy, by the way, but KFC, Burger King, like nothing healthy. But that became our thing, was to just keep getting fast food after school. And I was like, oh, okay, this feels so real now. And one thing I do tell everybody is she made me soft. I'm from the hood, bright mo.
Oh,
And ooh.
them hood,
and
they'll steal your lighter and help you look for it.
bro, Jamal stole my Motorola Razor and spent the whole day with me and Jimmy trying to help me find it. That's a whole nother story. But that stuck in my brain. But yeah, but she done made me soft. I was talking to her a couple days ago, and I told her about a situation that was going on. She's like, "You should have helped them." I said, "I'm not about to help them. I don't know those people. You have to be nice in this world." I'm like, oh. Next person I saw, I'm like, "Can I help you?" Just to tell her, just to go back and tell her, like, "Hey, I helped somebody today." She make me soft. Now that's a great thing, and I want her to live life with that mentality. But I don't
Mhm.
like it for me. Okay, I don't like change. I don't like change, fellas. But she's getting me. And the I told you I had two other ones. The boy, he's shit, how old is he? He's 4. His birthday next week. This week. Dang, what's today? I gotta get him a gift. His birthday this week coming up. He's starting to talk now. No words. Last night or the night before. No, it was last night because my Saints was playing. Last night he called me FaceTime during the game. Daddy, where you at? Daddy, where you at? Because I'm watching the game. I'm not in the screen. And he was like, "Oh, there you go." And he wanted to show me some new show he watching. Not Coco Melon. It was some new show that he's watching. I'm like, dang. They don't get to see me every day. That's I'm in California. They
Mhm.
back in Detroit. Don't get to see me every day. So between phone calls and FaceTimes, uh, it's a big difference for all of us involved. And I'm gonna be back there Monday, try to get my time in. I don't get to spend as much time with him as I should or would want to, but it's a big change and it's something I've been used to now for a better part of a decade. So yeah, yeah, man, it's weird. I don't even remember the question, but it's weird.
No, you answered it perfectly. So the next part of the question was, what are some of the struggles for you as a father?
I'm gonna start because I don't want to follow Carlson no more.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's my whole game plan. I'm trying not to follow him on nothing.
it's like playing horse, and he gonna make a shot. Okay. Uh, I don't lost Sean. No, it don't matter. I don't need him anyway. Uh, the struggles. Oh, the distance, man. It's the distance. I get being across the country, different time zones, 2,000 plus miles. That's really the biggest struggle. Not saying that fatherhood is easy at all, but there's fun in that part of the struggle. The learning curve can be fun. A lot of interesting things. You learn something. You see the kids learn something new. That part can be fun. So I don't want to say that's too much of a struggle. But the distance is nothing to learn. You're just not there. you're just not you're not there. One of them need to talk or need to kind of just be in your presence. I just got to hold the phone up and say, I can see you. What's wrong? It ain't the same. So for me, from my experience, that's the hardest thing. Now Carlson can go and then you can follow after him. That's,
Look,
that's how we're gonna do
I'm
that
sorry.
one.
I'm sorry, but I'm just a passionate dad. But like, I think for me, the hardest part for me in fatherhood has been doing my best to keep her innocent, doing my best to provide. Uh, I was a father from the moment I graduated college. Matter of fact, I hadn't even walked across the stage yet, and my daughter was born. I said September the 16th, 2016. I graduated December 2016. Right, my daughter was about 3 months when I walked across the stage. From the moment that I stepped into the real world, I was a father. I didn't have time to be a bachelor. I didn't time to. I didn't have time to figure out what I wanted, play the field. I stepped into responsibility the moment I crossed that stage. Before I crossed the stage, I had a reason to graduate. And ever since then, I've done my best to put myself in position so that I could receive the most amount of money from corporate America because I am an accountant, so that I can give her what she needs. I was 23 when I had her, so I'm young, so I'm willing to take more risks, business wise, life wise, loan, debt wise, to try to get to the next level. Right? I'm seeing these podcasts, seeing these posts about e-commerce, trading the stock market, all these different. I done done it all. And the one thing that stuck is the neon business, e-commerce, and then I do trade the stock market. That's been lucrative, along with me being full time in finance, right? But the hardest part with being a father was learning how to be selfless because I didn't have time to really be selfish as an adult, a real adult. Like not in college. You safe in college because everybody's going to school. You just paying $400 for rent. That's not real life. You kind of in a gray area. But learning how to not be selfish when I step into the real world, making real money, not being on that stuff that a lot of guys that we see on social media are living, traveling everywhere, flying girls out, stuff like that. That was the hard part within myself, right? When it came to me being a father, and that's just me being real with myself and just being real with you guys. But I learned over time that my daughter, best blessing that ever happened to me because she helped me learn what real responsibility meant, right? Just keeping it all the way above. You said, Mashad, like you had this little person that's saying, hey, I want this or I need this. You might be thinking, man, I ain't did nothing for myself. But it ain't about self no more. It's about this little person right here that's looking up to us. We have to learn how to be to them what we didn't have. And that's just me speaking for myself. Like I didn't have no one be that a male that attentive to me at that age, right? So the hard part was learning how to be for her what wasn't there for me, if that makes sense. And I'll stop it right there. But I'm learning. I'm learning.
Jaraje?
Okay, I would say the hardest part with me, and I'm gonna be completely transparent with you guys. The hardest part for me is looking in my son's eyes and knowing that I'm raising him in a broken home, right? Like, because I'm always a proponent of the two family household under one roof, and that it's kind of hard to me because I told myself, I said I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't bring them up in a broken home, but and it's like they don't deserve it. It's like, and you look at them and they dang good kids. So and you look at them like we were supposed to be different, you know. I wanted to show you different, and a lot of kids learn from examples, and it's hard for me to show them that example, and I'm not living it. You know, as a man, and it's teaching boys. They see, hey, they look at daddy and say, okay, daddy, what you do, I'm a mimic, and it's kind of hard for me to mimic it when I'm not living it myself. And if it was a way that I could do it with being in a healthy situation, I would. But there's no way for me to do it. And I don't want to bash the mother. So I just kind of sit there and take it on the chin. And I just do the best that I can every day. And I try to just tell them, be better than me. Be better than me. Your job, your only thing that you owe me in life is to be better than me. And I'm gonna have to show them. I'm gonna have to show them a certain way. Maybe if God feels so lucky enough to bless me with a wife, maybe she'll set my children and I can show them how to love a black woman properly and unconditionally. So that's the hardest part to me, just to look at them and say, "Hey, look, I'm sorry that I put this broken home on you."
See, that's a real statement about the broken homes. And when you said, I don't want to bash a mother, I always say, me and my ex, the reason we broke up, is our reasoning. The reason we're not together is our reasoning. But I'm never going to tell her side of the story. That's for her to tell. Whether I was at fault, whether she was at fault, I'm going to live my truth, but I'm never going to bash her. If she wants the world to know what happened, that's for her to tell. It's not my place to say, well, she did this, she did that. No, I'm just going to be accountable for what I did. It takes two to tango. So, yeah, she might have done something, but I'm not innocent either. So, I helped create that broken home. There's both of us. That's a reason that we're not together. But I realized I never answered my question because my computer battery died. I completely forgot to plug the charger up. So my transition from boy to man, most people say, like Carlson said, was when his daughter was born. That wasn't actually when my transition was, because when my daughter was born, I was overseas in Japan serving in the Navy. So I didn't see her for the first 2 years of her life for real. Because I'm over there. I was a low rank. I couldn't bring family over. So my transition didn't start till I moved back to the States and my son was born, because I'm out the military. I'm done, living for free. Like Carlson said, he in college paying 400 for rent. The military, you living for free. They paying everything. It wasn't until I got back here, I had to start paying rent. I had to realize, oh, I got to feed this kid. I got to wake up in the middle of the night and see what this kid's want, change his diaper, do this, that, and the third. So I say my son being born is what started the transition from me to grow from boy to man. And by that time, I was 25 years old when I got out the military. So that's why they say people in the military sometimes act childish. Yeah, and that's true. We do, because yeah, we have a lot of weight on our shoulders, but a lot of our responsibilities are paid for already. So we're not really that financially literate. We're not saving. We don't have rent. We don't have bills for real. So I couldn't transition from boyhood to manhood while I was still a dependent of the military. It wasn't until I got out that I realized, oh, this is the real world. I actually got to pick up my kids. I actually have to be there for him. He don't know what to do. And as a baby, babies are helpless. They need you to do stuff for them because they can't do it themselves. They're physically incapable of doing it. And the second question's, what are some struggles you have as a father? So I was raised by my grandparents. My father was not around. And a lot of people ask, because I know my dad now, but a lot of people ask, why didn't I ask him why he wasn't around? I say, that really doesn't matter to me at this point. I'm grown. You're here now. We have a good relationship now. What happened in the past is in the past. I really don't want to look in a bad light to you or my mother, so I don't want to know. And grew up in Detroit. My dad was right down the street in Pontiac. And I had a whole another set of siblings that I didn't even know about till I turned 18. So struggles I have as a father is I didn't really have one growing up. I was raised by my grandparents, and my grandfather was there, but he and I didn't have the best relationship because I was a rebellious child. I'm not even going to hold you up. I was very rebellious. I didn't like authority. I didn't want to listen to him. He always made me go out and cut the grass, shovel snow, typical stuff that a boy is like, man, I don't want to do this. This is hard work. I don't want to do this. I want to be lazy. I want to just sit and be nurtured by my grandma, because you know how grandmas be. So I resented him growing up, but it wasn't until I became a father myself that I actually value all the things that he taught me and all the things that he made me do. Like he made me go do that hard work. He made me go out and know how to cut the grass. He made me know how to change a tire. I can change tires, brakes, rotors, oil, all of that because he taught me how. And I'm going to make sure my sons and my stepson know how to do that because that's a trait I feel like every boy should know so he can do it for his mom, his sisters, or his wife when he grows up. So I feel like a struggle I have as a father is I didn't pay attention to the role model I had growing up. So I don't have a blueprint to go by. Not saying I didn't have a role model. I'm saying I didn't pay attention to the role model I had growing up because I was too busy trying to be arrogant and try to do my own thing. So that is a big regret that I have now as a man that I didn't pay more attention when he was trying to help me, trying to guide me, and trying to nurture me. Because now it's like I'm trying to make up for lost time and catch up on lessons that I should have learned when I was 13, 14 years old. So that's something I struggle with. Um, let's see. Next question was how can black women celebrate and support black fathers? What steps are men taking to become leaders of their family? How do they want to be celebrated?
Well, oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Carlson, you and this church finger, man.
Shout out to the Baptists, right?
Uno momento.
Un momento, por favor. So I feel like for me, the way, and I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for another brother, but like for me, I'm big on the simplest things. Just words of appreciation. If somebody was to just pull me to the side and be like, "Hey, let me talk to you a second. Let me tell you something. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for all you've done. I appreciate you for your sacrifices for this family, for your daughter. I see you." Just to feel seen would mean the most to me. It would make me go even harder. I think the reason why it would mean so much is because it hasn't happened. The only time I hear that is from my mother, right? I'm not in a relationship with anybody now. But if I was in a relationship, let's even say if I was married, I'd appreciate hearing that, feeling that from my partner because I understand that society says, "Hey, you a man, you supposed to do, supposed to do, supposed to do." We get that. Everything that we get, I personally, the good dads, the good men, we want to give. We made to give. I do it so that I can give. I want to give. I don't need no one prompting me to give, right? But when I do that, right, a simple thank you is appreciated because a person doesn't have to do anything. There's a lot of men out here that don't take care of their kids, that don't take care of their household, that's out here using, abusing, manipulating, conniving, doing all types of things. But if I'm doing right by you, it would be nice to hear and feel that it's appreciated, right? Instead of feeling and treat it like it's an obligation. And it is it's a duty, but it's not an obligation at the same time. So I feel like a simple showing of appreciation could make us feel like we're celebrated, because Father's Day is one of the least celebrated holidays. You can look that up,
Hmm.
A comedian even said that. I think it was Chris Rock. He
Ali,
said,
Ali Sadiq.
Yep.
right. Oh, Ali Sadiq.
It's a
Yeah.
deep.
One of the least celebrated holidays is Father's Day. And that's one way that we can be celebrated. And I'll stop right there. But just words of affirmation. Say something. Let us know. We can't assume it. Let us know that you appreciate what we do for you, for the family. That'll go that means so much to us. Because and this last thing I said I was done, but this last thing I said, a man will never know how much he's truly appreciated until the day he dies. And sadly, we won't be able to see it in the flesh, we'll see it in the spirit. That's when people will show up and say, "Hey, this person meant this to me, he meant that." In most cases, for a lot of men, that's why men are the number one to commit suicide. We the highest on the suicide radar, right? Because we check out first before anybody else. Because a lot of times we feel empty on the inside. We don't say it because we feel like we're supposed to fight that fight, but we rely on our partners and our family members to pour that appreciation into us. I'm done.
Man, you said a
No.
word, you said a word.
No, I would say that verbatim, that the beginning part when he spoke on just being pulled to the side to talk about it and say, you appreciate it, I see what you're doing, I respect what you're doing. That do mean a lot. Like even when he was sitting, I'm just listening. I just pretended he was speaking to me. Like thanks, man, because that right there is like okay, you recognize it, especially if it's the someone in the family. You recognize it. You taking the time out to acknowledge it to me, and that is gonna make you want to go harder, work harder, no matter what the case is. And yeah, I agree with that. Uh, yeah, that's all I pretty much got. It was a weird question to me at first. It's like three questions in one, but hearing it, hearing it means a lot. Um, yeah, that would be the way I would go. Just you ain't gotta tell me every day. What is it? 12 months? Every 3 to 4 months. Just let me hear it one time, even if it's through text message. Hey, you doing a good job. I see you. Keep it up. Okay, cool. But
It's the small
you
things
know,
that matter.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, man. I don't know. Father's Day being the least celebrated holiday. Man, I do Instacart, man. I remember when I was doing Instacart around Mother's Day. Oh, I was grabbing everything. I'm grabbing flowers, chocolates, bouquet. Oh, I'm grabbing everything. Man, I come out here. I think I worked. Yeah, I tried to work on Father's Day. I grabbed like 2 cars and some socks from from this grocery store. I said, dang, y'all do the fathers out here bold. It was about it was like 2 displays throughout the entire day. Mother's Day, it's a basket on every corner. On on Father's Day, what they get them a lawnmower, a bag of charcoal,
We
some
we gonna
tools.
segue to that next. It's a question on here. What gifts do we really want? So we're gonna get to that a little later. We're gonna get to that question. But we're gonna let Rajay start while he's still in the spirit.
I'm I'm different than both of the fellas, but I don't disagree with them. I think the way to celebrate Black fathers is protect our image. I mean, it's a lot of women out here saying that we're non-existent, we don't do nothing, we do the bare minimum if we're there, and all this, and they know for a fact that they got fathers, uncles, brothers, and points beyond men that go for bat for them. Now, granted, you may have a sour situation personally, but instead of trying to dump on all fathers, let's uplift the good ones so the bad ones can feel bad about what they're doing. And if you're gonna call out the bad fathers, call them up by name so the world know not to mess with these men. I
That's
think
true.
there's a lot of there's a lot of women manufacturing bad fathers that don't even have that situation just because it's popular. So I think that we need to start, if you want to help black fathers, start protecting their image. Say, hey, look, I understand that you may have a bad situation, but my father's always there for me. My brother's always there for his children. That for every ain't shit of a guy's story, it should be women who have these men in their lives saying, "Hey, look, that's not the truth." I mean, and we can go to data and statistics about all that, but we're gonna push that to the side and real world applications. There's men out here getting out there for their kids, and I think that need to be uplifted more instead of the dads ain't nothing trope.
Now, I hate to segue into this, but we gotta address that big elephant in the room since Mushad in his car. I feel like it's fitting. I because you already know what I'm about to say when he said there's so much negativity out here. When Derek Jackson was out here doing his whole thing, giving all the snake oil and selling all his lies, us men was telling the women he is full of it. He is full of it. Not all men are like that. And then they gave us the SpongeBob meme, not all men. And it's like we literally standing here yelling, saying, hey, not all men, and we're being serious. Yes, we're not going to deny that there are some dudes out here that are just no good. They're deadbeats. They ghost you. They use you up, spit you out, throw you away. But like Gerard just said, we need to bring the positive light, and we just need y'all to believe us when we tell you that it's not all men. And when y'all Messiah Derek Jackson got caught up, all of a sudden, oh, y'all was right. Where was that support when we was there telling you what the game was when everything was current. But now on the back end, y'all want to realize, okay, y'all was right.
Some people like hearing a ugly, beautiful tune versus a harsh truth. People hate it, and it's no secret. I mean, let's let the cat out the bag here. It's no secret in the black community. If you want to gain some influence or gain some power, just enter the dating realm and give women fluff. It's no secret. I mean, Derek Jackson was able to sell cards, $1,000 consultations, and all that. Why? Because he put a lot of the stuff that women do on men. And if you look at a lot of his content, you will see that he was arguing with himself sometimes. One time he'll say, "Oh, if a man don't let you go out, that means he insecure." Then if a man don't let you go out, that means he's overprotective. Like, pick a side here. And I think that's the part that we have a disconnect in our community, that we have extreme disgust for each other so much that we allow whoever's taking our side at the time to get our influence and get our attention, and we got to stop that.
That is completely well said. U.S. son to add, Carlson.
Everything he said, especially
Did I just beat Carson? Did I?
You on the board? You on the board?
Yes!
You on the leaderboard now?
Oh, 1 and 20. We good.
Well, I gotta be like I ain't do nothing.
Hey, I got an O2, so
Well, that's expected,
Carson
but
beat
like
our ass all
I
night.
didn't do
Come
nothing.
on.
He has.
Carlson the pastor. We just didn't know it.
Makes
Well, you
sense.
see how he's like, I got one more thing. Pastor played around, but let me tell you this.
What the pastor be doing? You know, I'm about to
Pass that plate
close, but
around. Pass that plate around.
all right. So we're gonna go back to the question Jamila asked. She said, "What gifts do y'all really want, and what gifts do y'all really like?" Because Father's Day is more than underwear, socks, belts, t-shirts, and deodorant.
And behind.
Yeah, yes. Sex is not a gift. Let's just put that out there. That is not a gift.
Hold on, wait. Can I say something?
It's
Did I say something?
Look, I'm about to put my what key.
it's appreciated. It is appreciated. It is a gift. Let me get that right. Your body, your choice. It is a gift. Before somebody quote me out the wrong context.
Ooh,
It
they gonna
is,
cut this up.
man.
We
That's
about
what
to
they
get
love to
leave.
do. They love to do. Sean said that it's a right. It ain't a
Oh
gift. It's a
man.
right. No,
Yep.
let me clarify that. It is not a gift for Father's Day. We want something that is well thought out, something that we don't get on a regular basis, something that shows how thankful you are to us, that is not out of the normal. How about that? Is that more
That's
clear?
appropriate. I feel like that's appropriate.
I think
Okay.
that sums up my answer too. Like, just get something that's tailored to me. Like, you see me 365 days. Come on, you mean to tell me you don't see you know what I really like? I really like a gift that fills in the blanks of my life, right? Like me. Like, I work from home, right? So if you see that I need like
It's a
a
beautiful
computer
home, by the way.
thank you. When you're rich. But yeah, just give me something that fills in a blank of my life. Like, I need like a bulletin board. That would be good. Just some tools. I love tools. Just tailor it to your man's liking. You around this man all day. You can find something that he needs that he don't have to worry about or have, you know? And that's what I say.
But let you not know something about her. It's World War III around here.
Ooh, because
Let
it's
let
expected. It's
let you
expected.
get her something. She said, "Why would you get me this? I don't like this." Then it's gonna be a whole problem.
I thought you liked the you said you wanted it in purple. You only had it in blue.
But no, you know, I recede. I recede. Go
I,
ahead, Carson.
I was just gonna say that I feel like you just got to know your man. I feel like it's kind of embarrassing if I ever see my future woman, my future spouse get on social media and be like, "What do y'all get men for Father's Day, birthdays? I don't know." I'm like,
I hate them posts.
because I'm like, I take my time to study you. study me. If my hobby is playing the PS5 and I like adventure games and you see that my chair is raggedy, be a little thoughtful. Maybe get me, a nicer chair. Or if you see that my console, my controller's a little ragged, I always gotta tap it and put new batteries in, maybe a new controller. Or let's think about something like an experience that us both can share. Maybe we've been working so hard, taking care of the kids, this and the third. Maybe you buy the flights this time for a weekend trip to Colorado or somewhere we've never been, and you got a little cheap Airbnb, and all you do is tell me to get ready. Hey, that's nice. That's an experience. That's not something that's common to us, man. We're so used to doing that for people. We're not used to people doing that for us. Like I would say that too. An experience, nice cologne go a long way. I like suits. I don't like when I say suits for context, I'm not talking about the Shein and Express. I'm talking about suitsupply.com. My suits cost about $600, $700. You can get me a
Oh, the Steve Harvey special.
That with that fall in it. You know what I'm talking about? Them suits got that fall. All right.
I don't know what you're talking about, brother. I get
Yeah,
suit
yeah.
from
We
Amazon.
can't relate, man. I'm sorry.
I thought you was gonna say Macy's. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
K and
those
G
are
is KG
those are
Superstore or something.
I mean, those are quality suits too. Macy's, dealers. I'm just talking about the Shein and the Fashion Nova. Them ain't suits. That's cardboard. You got to go to a department store or suit supply and give me a nice suit. Spend some money. Don't be cheap with me. I ain't cheap with you.
Young fellas, that's a tip. That's a tip right there. Where to get a good quality suit.
And we all seen that Steve Harvey video. Every man needs 5 suits.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to apologize, fellas, on behalf of a lot of these women that may make the post that you say, "What do you get a man?" Because it's men like me that confuse women on what to even get somebody. I'm not a big gift getter. You can ask me, you could tell me, "Hey, babe, I got some money I want to spend on you. What you want?" I wanted 2 things this year, and I just bought one of them myself, which was this iPhone. The other thing that I want is a MacBook Pro, 512 gigabytes, M3 Pro, and 32 gig memory.
You want a
That's 30.
gaming MacBook?
No, it's for editing. It's for editing. But that's $3,100. So unless she about to spend $3,100, there's nothing else. Like, I'm not a gift getter. There's nothing I can really say I want or hey, go get me. And if I'm honest, I'm always appreciative of whatever I get. Don't matter what you give me. I'm appreciative. Like, oh, you took your time out, you got me something. I like it. It's with me now. But I don't like everything. I don't like most things. Stuff I get is like, oh man, cool, thanks, appreciate it. And then I'm kind of moving on. But I know I got to be hard to shop for. Uh, I can't even think. My ex got me an Xbox for our anniversary. I still play that Xbox. That was the most appreciative thing I've probably gotten from a woman, especially since I use it every day. But from the moment she got me that, I can't think of any gifts or controller like you said, Carlos. I did need another controller when my boy come play, but there's no gifts. I'm like, man, baby, if you could, for Christmas or my birthday or anything, if you could just give me this. I don't be wanting nothing. I am the most simplest person. I don't wear suits. I don't need gifts. I'm gonna wear this hoodie, and I just bought another hoodie off of Temu. I'm gonna wear those hoodies all day, man. Yeah, bro. Listen,
Timo right here.
my daughter got me doing Temu. I could
This is
tell.
Timo right here.
I could tell. I saw that was 89 cents on Black Friday. Listen, hear me out. I I know cheap stuff. Okay, I know cheap stuff. I got $98 worth of stuff in my Temu basket right now. It's
That's
like
where
40
Gerard
things
got
in
his
there.
piano from.
That, oh,
Let me tell y'all, brother,
oh,
something real quick, because we
what
got to keep
happened?
each other accountable. Listen, the suit ain't for us; it's for them. Now, the game is to be sold, not told. But I gave you that one for free.
Huh?
As for
In
me,
that case, I'll see if I can get one that's not on Temu.
Yes, sir.
Groupon. Get a
Thank you.
Groupon suit. I'm gonna
Right.
try.
Oh
I
Lord.
feel like
Breakaway suit.
Shad said what I would have said. I'm not a gift getter person. Like, I don't need anything. You can buy me some camera gear,
What
buy
a
me a
light
new
though.
light.
Oh, the sun.
It's called the sun, Shad. It's gone.
No, listen. I just looked at myself. I'm like, God, hold on. Hear me.
Yeah.
I gotta cut these on.
It do kind of go around.
This looks
Right.
terrible.
But I'm simple. If
Dang.
you want to give me some, take me out to eat. Like seafood boils, I'll be happy every time. I don't care if it's every other week. I would love to go get me a seafood boil. I would be a kid in a candy store. That's what you can get me for a gift. Cause you're not gonna go buy a $4,000 camera. So get me what you can that you know I would appreciate. And I'd be good. All right, so let's move on to another question was how does your childhood affect the way you raise your children?
Very much so.
Fun, happiness. That's I I used to get like the new Game Boy, the new Game Boy Color. I had
Yeah.
the Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo. Yeah, only thing I never got was a PSP. I'm still mad at my people about that. I'm gonna talk to them next week when I see them. But every system I wanted, I pretty much had it. Uh, just something to keep you happy, and that's what I try to do. Just figure out what keeps him happy. Uh, After a day, long day at school, or just not feeling good throughout the day, what can I provide for you where you can be like, I'm glad I got this. This is gonna make me happier. This is gonna keep my day, make my day better. And yeah, that's what I take from that. Is and one more thing, because I'm gonna tell my mom to watch this, and she's gonna laugh at this part. My granddad told me he's gonna fly a kite with me since I was 10 years old. We still ain't flew it. And I'm gonna see him next week. And I just promised my daughter 2 days ago I'm gonna fly a kite with her. I have no intention of keeping that promise. I'm not gonna do it. No, hear me out, Carson. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna keep a tradition going. My granddad didn't fly a kite with me. I won't fly a kite with her. If she ever make a mistake and have kids, I don't want her to fly no kites with her kids. But I want her to promise it. That's just a tradition I got going. That's it. I
Just
yield the rest of my time.
just promise it. Pass on the empty promise.
Not the tradition of not flying kites together. That's hilarious.
Right.
You
Great,
said
great,
pass
great,
them
great,
on empty
great,
promise.
great, great dad didn't fly a kite with me. What you think I'm gonna do it with you for?
Hey man, he said passing on empty promises. That's
Hey,
what I'm
great
telling.
tradition.
I agree.
Shaw means you turn your flashlight on your iPad on or something.
Hey,
You just look like a pair of floating teeth at this
Yeah,
point.
Look, we ain't gonna be able to see him in a minute.
yeah.
hey,
Turn
man, I'm waiting. I'm waiting on these lights to come on. Usually the lights come on back here.
turn the
There we go.
car on so you don't lose your battery.
Yeah, this is
Right.
Oh, hey, no, this car been off for a minute. I was
this
like,
look
this is gonna take a while.
like a first 48 episode, man.
Man, what?
They about to put the food in front of them.
You
You know
hear
when they
me?
put the food
Man,
in front of them, what's happening?
Watch this. I'm gonna find me a street light to go park under. Now, hey, now we taking this show on the road, fellas. We moving.
We on
we
location
first,
we
now.
on tour
yeah.
now.
Oh, wait,
Uh,
y'all failed the
Look,
phone.
look. While he
Hold on.
while he get it together, I'm gonna say this, right? So we had an amazing childhood growing up. My mother, she took me and my two sisters everywhere. We did everything. We didn't lack nothing. You know how people talk about childhood traumas? Honest to God, I ain't had none. I had a
Same.
good childhood. It was fun. If I could go back, I would. All right. I had adult traumas, but that's another topic for another day. But as far as my childhood and the way I was brought up, my mother showed the true act of selflessness, and I implement that in my parenting with my daughter. I try to make sure if I do something for me, I'm gonna do something for her. I try to make sure that I give her experiences the same way my mom gave me and my sisters. So that's how my childhood has affected my parenting. To answer the question,
Oh, the street light just came on.
you know,
So
All right, hold on.
in my childhood, we took a lot of road trips, and that was something that I really was memorable. We did a lot of road trips, went to activities and things. But I just took my kids on a road trip. I told you we went down to see the Civil Rights Museum.
mm-hmm.
Kids on a road trip is a handful. I I I did not know the amount of patience it takes to take kids on a 12-hour trip in a car.
Ooh,
Because going from Detroit to Memphis is a 11 to 12-hour drive. And to be in that car with 5 kids,
Bless your heart.
oh my
bless your heart.
God. Like shout out to my grandparents for having the patience to deal with me and my siblings on these road trips, because I don't think that's gonna happen again for another 3 to 4 years until they get a little older, learn how to hold their bladders a little longer. And that's a tradition I wanted to keep up, but that's a hard tradition to keep. And that's just me being totally honest. They enjoyed it. They had a blast. They had a lovely time. We got away from screen time for a while, went outside, did some things, had a bonfire, fried some fish. But that car ride, I just don't see that happening. And if the car ride was that bad, I don't even want to imagine a plane ride with all them kids. I just
You're gonna have
What's
y'all
the age range? What's the age range for the five?
look, don't judge me, but my kids are stair steppers from 10 down to 1.
Eesh.
yeah, you better get you some melatonin. Put it in that sippy cup.
They're immune to melatonin.
Oh dang.
Oof.
Because I did that too much. They are immune to it.
I did it too much.
Here's what you do.
Melatonin don't
Keep
work.
them up the night before. Keep them up. Just keep them up the
you
night
know,
before.
you
Then
know,
I not
build them up
say
with
they ages
immune.
10 and under, they only need a 2 hour nap and then they recharge for another 24 hours.
That is true. Like they
M- My son could stay up till 3 in the morning and be up for school at 6 and be ready. That
man,
that don't work.
the joys
But
of being young.
I surrender the mic on that one.
Uh, I'll be honest. For a long time, I thought I had the worst childhood ever. Right. And that's because I was comparing it to other people's childhood, especially on TV. Like I look on TV, and I'm like, oh man, look what they doing. They doing this, and how come we don't do that?
I want to
But
be a Disney kid so bad.
yeah,
Oh man.
like when they got their own single, all that. So when I got older, I actually sat back and did some introspect, and I actually thought about it. Like, you know what? Every Christmas, I had a bike under that tree. Every field trip I was able to go on, my mama was always off. My dad always did something for me, and that's what I wanted to be. That's what I thought about and said that's the type of parent I want to be. Right? I want to be the type of parent where my kids know for a fact that I was there for them no matter what, and that's what I had. I no matter I had an open door policy to both of my parents. It was I lived in that separate household for a minute, and it was like when I go in my dad's house, I had that structure, and we would talk about girls, and we would talk about the facts of life and all the other stuff. But then when I went to my mama house, I was able to be vulnerable. I was able to vent. I was able to have like conversations about anything, my feelings, emotions, all this type of stuff. And it felt like I was in a two-parent household, but I wasn't. And that's what I want to do. I want to be able to give my kids the ability to fail. That's one thing I'm working on
That's
as a
good.
parent right now. I'm giving them the ability to fail, right? Because now if you go to school, you better do it in one of the big three. And if it's not in the big three, you just not gonna prosper in life that much. I want my son to be able to, hey, look, I want to go to school for flower picking 101. Okay, you go ahead and do that. I'm gonna support you, son. And if it don't work out, we're gonna go back to the drawing board. Me and you. I want that ability. I want to give my son the ability to fail, and I'll be right there to pick him up and say, hey, look, let's start over. I don't want you to make no permanent decisions until we both feel that it's right for you.
Go ahead, Carson.
I just want to chime in real quick. I don't know how many of my female followers or friends may be seeing this, but to the mothers that will see this, if they're seeing it currently or will see it later on, that might not have the best relationship with the father of their children, I implore you to listen to what I'm about to say. What matters most is not the presents that he buy, but it's his presence. A father's presence in his children's lives can truly make or break them in future circumstances. Okay. I know that sometimes society can have a way of spewing a certain narrative to us, stating that he's not a real man if he doesn't do A, B, and C, or he's not a real father if he doesn't do A, B, and C, or my father did this, and if he doesn't do exactly what my father. Listen, if that man does nothing more than be there in the child's life, let him. I understand the emotional aspect of it. I understand the history that you and him may have had, and it might not have been pretty, it might have been ugly. None of that matters. What matters most is allowing a father to be in the children's lives if that is his wish. Do not be a roadblock, all right, in allowing and not allowing the father of your children to be present in their lives. If he says, "Hey, can I get them for a weekend? Let them kids go." You need a break anyway. He gonna bring them back. Trust me. If he ain't used to having them, he gonna bring them back. Okay,
Mhm.
like you and him made the decision to create them. If he's asking to get them, if he's not doing anything, nothing. If he's saying, "Let me get him," let him get him. That's my message. I'm done. I just wanted to add that tidbit. A lot of times we think that if he's not giving A, B, and C, you can't see the kids. Don't make him being in the child's life conditional, because then you are the true enemy in the equation. You're only hurting the kid. Let the father be present in the kids' lives. That's all. I digress.
Now let's add the caveat because we already know what's going to come in that comment section if it's a healthy situation to do so, right? And I think that's best. And I understand where women get it. It's unfair that I got to work and provide all this stuff, and all you got to do is show up. I get it. That's completely wrong and understandable. But parents' essence is important. Like just being around my dad, I was able to navigate certain situations and certain things. Not saying that my dad didn't provide financially or anything like that, but he was able to teach me certain mannerisms as a man that's missing today, right? Like a lot of women say, "Oh, men are not chivalrous anymore," right? Why? Because there are a lot of men are not teaching this stuff. A lot of men are not telling you the real reason why you open the door for a woman, right? A
And
real man,
now women call that simping too. They call it corny these days.
Man,
because they ain't got a man there to tell them, look, this is what a man is supposed to do. He's supposed to do these things for you. Why? Because he's trying to gain your favor. Just like you're trying to gain his courtship, he's trying to gain your favor.
Oh, they don't even know what that word means now. They don't know what courtship means.
Well, that'll be our next session.
Right.
Yeah,
Next.
that'll take us to a whole nother 2-hour talk. All right, so we only got 3 questions left, fellas, and I'm gonna combine. No, we got 4. I'm gonna combine 2 of them because they're basically the same. All right, so where to go? All right, this one's about mental health. How do you create a space, time, or able to support time for us to process our pain, disappointments, and loneliness before it starts to affect our mental health? And if it does affect our mental health, how is it that the ladies can help us deal with it?
I would say first it's on us as men. It's on us. I mean, I advocate for every single man that I come across, especially if you're black, get some therapy. I don't care if you think that you are the fittest or the most of the fittest of the fittest of the fit. Get some therapy. And it's okay to go to somebody and just talk to them. You can just talk to them about random stuff and just let them, because as black men, we have a lot on our backs, whether you believe it or not, whether you old, young, cripple, whatever, you have a lot on your back. Just from your past, you have a lot on your back. So what I would suggest is a lot of people at their jobs have free therapy sessions. Just do the free therapy sessions, and if you feel any value in it, keep going, because a lot of our trauma is bleeding on to our women, right? And we need to work on that. We can't be bleeding on our women all the time. We can't, oh, well, she didn't create a safe space for me. Well, did you create a safe space for yourself, son? No, you didn't. And I land with that one.
That part. Carlson, you ain't got to raise your hand, dude.
I like to be respectful to
Well,
the
we didn't
room.
moved up because first it was one finger, now it's all 5 of them. So we get
This
nothing.
one, this one needs all 10. Okay.
Okay.
I want Sean. Would you mind restating part one? Because I want to be able to address both parts real quick.
Absolutely. How do they create space time for us to get the support to process our pain, disappoints, and loneliness before it affects our mental health?
Um, you know, kind of like what my brother said, even going into a situation, you can be the fittest of the fit. You could have done the therapy, you could have done the time, but I feel like the society we live in is in America, whether you acknowledge it or not, you're conditioned to perform in a manner that allows you to thrive. Right? We got a code switch. We have to know our role when it comes to our women. We have to provide a certain game in order to get gain out of our women, because culturally you're simping or you're lame if you don't come a certain way, walk a certain way. You're dangerous if you have a hood on your head. You're dangerous if you walk too fast. You have to always be mindful of how you're presented in the world when you walk out the house, when you present yourself to another woman, right? And with that, I think answering the question, how can they provide a space for us to vent to them, and before we get to a point where we're broken, you can do the simplest thing and ask, how are you feeling today? How are you doing today? Is today a up day or a down day? That's something that I've done with my closest female friend, more like a sister at this point now. Back in the gap, we used to talk to each other and be like, you know what, friend, today I'm having a down day. And that's how we started our conversation off for the day. So now for the rest of the day, we know how to handle each other. If you having a down day, I can't. You might be at 20%, and if you're at 20% and you communicated that, guess what? Now I can be your 80, right? But if we don't communicate and share and be vulnerable and let each other know, like, hey, this is where we at, we can't equip our partners to be as effective as they could be and as they want to be. Because the woman that asked that question is probably in a place where she might have been in a situation in the season where she wanted to be that helpmate, that partner for her partner, but she didn't know, because we don't speak about it. We don't allow ourselves to be weak because we've been taught that we have to be strong, right? So I implore our men, black, white, across the board, right, to allow ourselves to be vulnerable. If we have a partner, if we have friends, even in a platonic sense, let somebody know, hey, I'm at 20% today. You know, I got a lot on my plate. This what's going on. I'm just not there, because at that point you stated it, and you're trusting the people that love you, that claim they love you, to be that other 80% or whatever the case may be, right? So that's the first part of the question. What was the second part?
Before it affects our mental health.
Before it affects them in help, yeah, like just ask us how we doing. Ask, is there anything I can do to help? I think that's the best thing to do. And sometimes it's just space. Sometimes space is all that's needed. A break from the routine. Sometimes we can get so caught in the routine. We take care of our women, we take care of our kids, we taking care of these bills. But sometimes us as men, we forget to take care of ourselves. I told a woman this earlier this year. I used to say this, not anymore. I know how to take care of a woman better than I know how to take care of myself. I know how to be romantic to her. I know how to please her. I know how to be selfless to her. I know how to put her first. But when I'm not giving myself that grace, I'm not working out, I'm not eating right, I'm not exercising, I'm not taking me out, I'm not doing nothing for myself, but I know how to take care of somebody else. So it's like we as men have to take accountability for self and start putting ourselves first, because no one else is going to take care of us better than ourselves. The only person that was going to do that is your mother, if she was a good mother, right? But our women is not supposed to be our mother. They're supposed to be our helpmate. They help us take care of ourselves, right? But we
Mhm.
have to lead by example and show them that, hey, I'm taking care of me. And because I'm able to take care of me, I'm going to help take care of you. And I'm going to trust that you're going to help take care of me in return. That's all I got.
Man, that was the realest statement I've heard in a long time. I know how to take care of a woman better than I can take care of myself. You need to put that on a book cover or something. If you don't write that book, I will.
First coming soon, everybody. First coming soon.
Yeah.
Man, I want to piggyback off what Draje said about not bleeding onto our women
Yes.
because, you know, men, because how society is, we're not able to be weak and vulnerable because society's going to call us weak when we're just, dealing with life. We're trying to go through life just like everybody else is. So forgive us if we're not hop, skipping, and jumping all the time. We just need a moment to just decompress. That doesn't mean we're weak. It just means we just need a moment, because men, because of the fact that we can't just be so outward with our emotions, will internalize everything. And then when you internalize things, anything that you fill up too much is going to explode, and we explode onto our partners, oftentimes into our partners or onto our kids. And that's where the toxic masculinity comes from, and then that goes down a whole nother rabbit hole. So if men would just learn how to have that outlet, find the outlet, or like he said, create your own outlet if nobody else can provide outlet for you, so you don't become that person that internalizes everything and then explodes on everything else. Like, the thing about a grenade is a grenade is a bomb, but the worst part about a grenade is not the explosive force that happens when it blows up. A grenade is just a metal canister that is really compressed. And once that pin comes, it lets that compression out, and the grenade explodes. All those metal fragments go everywhere. And that's how it is when men internalize their emotions and it gets too much. Our little metal fragments, some pierce our wives, our girlfriends, our kids, our moms, our pastors. It just goes everywhere. And all that could have been prevented if we would have just made a safe space for ourselves to be an outlet, so that we can just decompress and get what we need off our shoulders and off our chests, so that we don't live to what society says we have to be, and we can be able to be vulnerable and transparent. So yeah, man, we need to create our own self spaces. And that's why I wanted to, have this talk with you fellas, to just be a transparent safe space, even though, we're live streaming to the entire world or whoever's watching. But we need our own safe spaces. I'm sorry, Shad, I know I cut you off. He was about to talk.
No, it's funny that you ended right there with safe space, because that's kind of where I was gonna go with the whole thing. I agree with both of these gentlemen. I think I just may I I do it differently. I treat it differently. Everyone has their way. I agree with seeking therapy, getting therapy, whether you think you need it or not, because that can help. I agree with knowing how to make everyone else happy, or your woman happier before yourself. But once again, when it comes to the safe space, what I've done for me is figure out what do I really enjoy doing that brings me all the way. Like if I'm up here, what do I enjoy doing that brings me down? I my I'm gonna either eat a Philly cheesesteak, I'm gonna cut on some 2K with that, or I'm gonna have some nachos and play some Grand Theft Auto. Like I found it. That's what I don't know what month this year where it clicked, but I found the things that after a long day, and I'm probably gonna do it tonight too once once this is over. Like what's gonna mellow me out to the point where I'm really just happy for the rest of the day. And that's that. I got my little news stuff that I watch. I got the couple of games that I play. I got a meal or two or a snack or something that it works. If I've been on 10 all day, I found out what to bring me down, so I'm not going to sleep angry and then bringing that into waking up the next day and reliving that. Every night before I go to sleep, except for that one night a couple weeks ago, that's another story. But every night before I go to sleep, though, I'm good. I'm going to sleep with a smile because I done decomposed from whatever had me angry or had me anxious, and I done did my routine. Everybody's routine different. Especially if I could play basketball. If I could play basketball all day, I ain't angry for a few days. But if I can't make it to the court, then I got my things at home where it's like, all right, you good now. You in your safe space with your safe stuff, and you're good. You can be happy. And once I'm able to do that, and that's why they say when you're on an airplane, put your mask on first. Once I'm able to do that, then I can go to every other situation, help everybody else out. Hey, now I know you got this going. Let's figure this out. Let's figure this out. If my daughter called me or mom called me, a lot of days they both call me at separate times to complain about each other. Um, I'm able to now because I've already done what I need to do for me to be able to help everybody else out now, to be able to talk everybody else through whatever they're going through. Um, Carlson said, man, I wanted to write it down. I couldn't find my pen. It's dark. He said, I can't remember. If I remember, I'm gonna cut somebody off and say it later. But what he said, I agree with, because you need to be able to figure out how to help people, but then be able to help yourself too. And that's what I learned. You say you don't say it no more. What was that? You say you don't say no more.
I think it was probably some along the lines of like
You
Oh,
telling
that
a
he knows
female
how to
friend
take
something.
care. He knows how to take care of a woman better than he take care
better
of
take care of
himself.
himself. I take
Take
care
care
of
of
me.
yourself first.
I take care of me before I take care of a woman. And I
Shirts
don't
coming
Yeah,
soon.
I don't want to deviate too much. I just want to add this tidbit because it's in relation to what we're talking about. Forgive me, Sean. Forgive me. I feel
Oh
like the
no, you
switch.
oh,
I
you
good.
good.
feel like that switch coming out. I'm from the country, but now, like, we have to, as men, understand that we have to get close with the source. We have to get close with God. And I ain't just saying it to sound cute. I'm truly saying when you get close to God and when you allow yourself to be separated from things that are most familiar to you. I'm talking about you had certain ways with chasing certain women, certain habits, whether it be drinking, gambling, smoking, or just your way of going about women, being a player, playing the field. When you sit down somewhere, as my mama say, what you'll realize is that a lot of things that you used to do and a lot of people and a lot of your ways were really your own demise. That's what was holding you back. You, not these women, not the mother of our children. It's you. It all problems that we have in our lives as men. I can't speak for anybody else. It start with us. We're not gonna start say that woe is me. Oh well, because this happened. Look. We men. All right. Yeah, things happen, but we have the power that God gave us to change our situation. We have that power, right? We grown men. We ain't little boys no more. We grown men. And there's power in sitting still. When you sit still, stop looking for this, stop looking for this, and stop looking for that, you realize that, hey, I'm valuable. Instead of trying to make a woman happy, make these mothers happy, make these children happy, make the job happy, make mama happy, make daddy happy, look in the mirror. That's your person. Make you happy. And that's what I learned a couple months ago from going to therapy, right? Instead of thinking that a woman was to complete me, the source was what I needed to complete me. Instead of me trying to find a woman to fix me, I had to fix myself. The source was what I needed. Because, like the word say, God is a jealous God. If you put anything or anyone before him, you can't expect your life to be peaceful. You'll go to bed continuously, but you laying down, but you can't sleep. We all have probably been there before. You restless, right? That's because something missing. Get connected to that source if you in that stage, right? And this, I'm just talking to us, right? Hopefully it'll bless some other men that's watching. But we have to know there's power in sitting down somewhere and just being still instead of trying to go out and create this vibe with this woman or that. Because women will be picking the wrong woman will be our downfall, man. We all been there before, right? That was just on my heart to say because that's my revelation. That's something I've just learned this year. Instead of trying to find the right one, trying to find that one, the one is the person that you see every day when you look in the mirror. Get that one right first. Because can't nobody do you better. Shouldn't nobody be able to come into your life and do you better than how you do you. That's all I got.
Hey, I ain't even gonna follow that up. That was real deep. And we're gonna go on to our last question because all three of y'all are single, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're
There's
gonna
a dollar bill on payday.
so we're gonna skip that one question because it don't apply. But the last question, it's a big one. Would you want your daughter to marry a man like you? And if why or why not? And if no, what areas can you improve to become that man that you want her to marry a man like you? Or if, and I'll even caveat, the man, would you want her to marry a man that you are or the man you used to be? And how did you transition from the man you used to be to the man you are now?
All right, I'm gonna go first. So I don't want it to get darker to the point where you just don't see me at all.
We already can't
So,
see you at all.
uh,
We thought your mic.
so I will want her, if she, I'm selfish, man. I don't want her to ever talk to nobody else in this world. I want her to just stay next to me for the rest of both our lives. But if she has to go marry someone else, I want her to marry the man that met her mom. Don't marry this new me. Don't, this new me ain't the one to marry, but marry the one that met her mom. That's the man who came into their lives, who was not only still trying to figure himself out, but was willing to take on responsibility to make a unit to make everyone happy and move forward. And I did that. I did that for years. And if I was ready for marriage at that point in my life, I think things would have been great. I think it would have worked out. So that's the guy I would want her to marry. This new me, Sean. I live in Los Angeles, California. Don't marry me. Don't don't marry me. Okay. Mm-mm. It ain't nothing but temptation and Illuminati out here. Don't marry this new me.
And Illuminati. Oh my
Listen,
Illuminati
I,
We're
is
wa-
gonna
I
get
thought we
shut.
was being honest, fellas. You told me it's my safe space. Don't marry me.
I
Look, we're
think
gonna
they
get
work in
shut
the same
down.
department.
I
Not
I
this new me.
I could say that's a twofold question for me because I want her to marry the man I used to be and the man I am right now, but not the man in between. Because
Hmm.
I was, as a teenager, I was I was so optimistic. I was a positive outlook on life. I was loving, romantic, everything. Then life happened. I met, as Carlson said, that woman, and it turned me into the low down, dirty shame type dude. And
Future.
then now I've changed again. I've matured. I've learned how to put myself first, how to put my mental health first. So I would like her to either marry the first man or the current one, because the problem is the current one, I'm not that super romantic anymore. I would love to get back to that. I'm trying to work back to that, but I'm not the super romantic with the flowers and the chocolates and all that, but I'm still a loving man. I may not be the super romantic like the Hallmark movies, but I still am the type that treats a woman right, the type that knows how to pay attention to your wants, your needs. Now, do I have flaws? Absolutely. I fall short every now and then, but I'm learning to own up to the faults that I have. I'm learning to own up to the mistakes that I make. I'm learning to own up to where I fall short as, like, dang, I didn't remember to do this. I could have done this better. I could have said this another way. So yeah, I would say my daughters can marry the man that I am now, because the man that I was formed the man that I am now. I had to go through all of the heartbreak, all of the player days, all of the drama to build me up and toughen my skin to be the man that I am right now.
Man, can I piggyback on what you said, man?
Absolutely.
Well, let me ask you a question. Was your father around in your life?
Like I said earlier, remember I was raised by my grandfather, but I didn't pay
You did
attention.
say. Okay. Mine wasn't around neither. And like how you just said, because I don't want to lose it, you had to go through some things and develop that tough skin so that you could become who you are now. Fathers that's here present and fathers that's watching, we have to protect our kids and raise them in a way that they don't have to develop tough skin. We got the tough skin already, right?
Hmm.
I am you, Sean, because I too, in my dating escapades, romantic. I'm optimistic. I love love. I'm lovable. I'm a Libra. We the lovers of the zodiac. I was conceived around the new year. 9 months later, here we go, Libras, right? So, with that being said, it's important for us to instill in our sons the teachings of what types of women deserve our pursuit. Teach your sons how to discern whether or not this is somebody that you just keep for the night and this is somebody that you keep for life, right?
Everything that glitter ain't
Because
gold.
they both look the same. They both got the same accolades. They both sound the same. They both walk the same, and they both got the same curves. But you got to teach your sons, especially this for the sons. This men talk. Teach your sons how to take their time, have a conversation with these women that they are physically attracted to, because the flesh is weak. The flesh is weak, and that's why some of us got some of the kids we got now. We didn't take time.
I always say I love my kids, but I'm not proud of the way they got here.
I
Okay,
thought
there
this
we go.
was a safe space.
Right, this is a safe space. So I'm just we being real right now because we
Mhm.
on the outro, right? Love. I have no disrespect towards them. I thank the mother of my child for allowing my daughter to come into this world. God used as a vessel. But if I was not of my flesh and I was within my spirit, she would have came later on. That's just me being honest, and I probably speaking for a lot of you gentlemen too. We have to teach our sons how to be one with God and pray for what you want. Having a spiritual, having the right union, having the right partnership, that is a spiritual thing. That's orchestrated by God. You can't outdo God. Try it if you want to. If you want to. I've done it. Failed every time.
Plenty
I
of
didn't bought
tried,
the
many
fly.
have failed.
Listen, I didn't bought. I got to get this out. I didn't bought the flowers. I didn't bought the plane tickets. I didn't bought the vacations. I didn't done the physical touch, the gift giving, the acts of service, the quality time, and everything under the sun, right? And I'm still in a single spot, right? Because I did it for the wrong people. Just because society raised me and taught me that because you a man, you're supposed to do this, that. Mm-mm. We don't abide by what society say because that's what happened when you don't have a father present to say, "Hey, let me talk to you, young blood. Let me tell you what's real." Right? Teach your sons, and if I'm ever blessed with a son, I'm gonna teach them. I'm say, "Hey, you listen, have a conversation with these women first, and she'll tell you who she is. She'll show you who she is before you allow yourself to even take her out on a date. She ain't deserving of that until you vetted her out. It's just like any job, any applicant. You applying for her, and she applying to you. But when y'all look at each other's resumes, if y'all not equally yoked and in alignment, want the same thing, and trying to work to the same thing, it ain't no dating to get to know each other. What we getting to know? We've already established that you full of mess, right?
I wish
So
I knew what I knew now back then.
I'm telling you, but
I,
we know now. The blessing is that we went through what we went through so that we can know how to pour into the next seed, right? So that they don't have to go through the same heartache and regret that we went through. Teach that to our sons. That's what I want to tell the other fellas that's here. I don't have a son. I got a daughter. I got to instill chastity into her. But if I had a son, I'd teach him like, son, hey, stay away from these types. And then nobody tell me that. They just said take your time. But they all
mm,
look the same.
take
So
your
when
time
you
and wrap it up.
exactly, but that ain't enough. We have to get deeper in with the conversation. I say, hey, if she's not treating you right, if she's not respecting you, if she's not reciprocating what you're putting out, if she doesn't show the same level of interest, there is no dates. There is no following up. Getting what are you getting to know? Because you're moving out of the flesh and not out of the spirit and not out of purpose. That's all I want to say.
And we all moved through the flesh back in the day. I can tell you, Facebook memories irritates me every single day. Every time I see those Facebook memory posts, like I told you, I was overseas in the military, stationed all over the country. I flew girls out that I cannot tell you their name to this day.
See?
Like I was buying girls plane tickets from like Texas all the way to New York. I even flew a girl to Japan, and I could not tell you her name.
Mm.
Facebook memories can tell you her name, but if it would not be Facebook memories, I would not have remembered it. And no shade to her if she ever sees this, but that was not the brightest idea for neither one of us. We're both operating out of our flesh because the fact that I don't even remember who she is right now means that it was purely something that was from the flesh or purely secular. I can't remember think of the word that I'm think lust. There we go. It was purely lust. And I'm just glad that, I'm older and I've matured enough to know that, you got to talk to people before you actually want to commit to them. Like Carlson said, you got to give people an interview. You're applying to them and they're applying to you. But yeah, regret is something that I'm not even going to call it regret. I'm going to call it lessons learned. Lessons learned from our past because now we're in our future where we know better now. So you know better, you do better.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Jaraje, with your fancy house.
Well, what can I say? When you look rich, you are rich.
There you go.
But um, I would say the new me, the old me used to be in and out of the clubs, waking up, going to work in the morning. After work, go to Belle Isle. After Belle Isle, go to the club. After the club, go to the
Bella.
after hour. Repeat, 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 repeat. And I don't think that would make good husband material. But me
Absolutely
now,
not.
me now, I would love if I had a daughter, I would love for her to marry a guy like me. Right? Because right now I'm like I'm like a missile when it comes to certain stuff, like my finances, I'm there. My mental health, I'm there. When it comes to the women that I allow in my space, you're just not gonna get here just because you got a nice body. Sorry, you're gonna have to have it upstairs and downstairs. So me right now, I'm more emotional intelligent as well. Like I can take on some emotions of other people and not take it as a personal attack. I can regulate my own emotions. I'm better at that. And as a father, I think I'm at the top. I still got stuff to learn and I still got stuff to do, but I still every day I'm learning. And that's what I would really, if I had a daughter, that's what I really would want her to find a quality in a man that's willing to understand you and a man that's willing to learn, right? Because anything that doesn't understand you or grow is dead. And you don't want a dead man. A dead man will give you just enough attention for that day. And your cup will never be full. You will never have abundance. You will never be blessed if you just getting just enough from that man, right? And
Mhm.
that's what I say. Marry the man I am now, not the man I was yesterday.
Okay. Listen, everybody. It sounds like I'm the only one that's no good. That's cool. Hey,
Lord bless his
I'm.
heart.
No, it's fine.
You
It's
can't
cool. Look,
change your answer.
I'm
Yeah,
not changing
yeah.
my
Oh,
answer.
yeah, he did answer, didn't it?
He went first.
Yeah, yeah, I was first. No, I ain't changing. I still ain't no good than I was 5 minutes ago. But
Ooh.
all I'm gonna say is I'll be good again one day. Boom.
See, he ever growing.
And
He
look,
That's
Yeah.
progress.
Forever, grow,
I don't feel like
forever growing.
what Sean, what you said touched my spirit so that I ain't even answer the question. But to answer the question, we're real brief. I would love for my daughter to meet somebody that's just how I've been. I've always been a selfless person, but especially the man that I am today. I put God first in all situations. When I'm at my lowest, when I'm going through my valleys, I'm always putting God first. And I want my daughter to meet a man, fall in love with a man that knows how to put God first in his ugliest, stickiest, most vulnerable situations, because that man is the one that's going to be the man that's going to lead her to righteousness, right? So I would definitely say, yeah, I would love for my daughter to marry and be with a man that the man that I am today for sure.
We are definitely gonna have to bring all of this back for round two. But we have been on here for an hour and a half. So, fellas, final thoughts.
I will say this to the men out there: be in your child's life. I mean, I understand that you can't be there financially. Just be there. Just go to a game. Just let that child know that your presence is there, and the money will come, and the money will come. Uh, I would say just keep striving. And like I said, hey, if anybody looking at this and they need some help or they need anything, reach out to me. I know a couple resources that can help you out with a little something, something. And if I can't, I do some research to get you there. So just reach out. And to the ladies, you're doing a good job. Don't let nobody stump on your parade. If you don't have a positive role father figure that you can put in your child's life, get in some of these mentor programs, right? Get in some of these mentor programs and allow your child, especially your boys, but your girls too, to get around some men and see how they interact, how they socially interact, right? And there's a lot of men that would just let you say, "Hey, down the street, hey man, I see you cut your grass all the time. You mind if you teach my son how to cut grass?" And that's a learning experience. Just learning and watching the man in the man's element is beneficial. It's worth its way to go. I promise you. And I end with that.
I say that I'd like to leave people with this. For the fathers, I definitely implore you to be in your kids' lives if you have them. Make that sacrifice. We make time for everything else. Make time for your kids' lives. They will only be children one time in this lifetime, right? And respect the mother of your children. I understand that things might not have been as pleasant as you might have wanted it to be, but that has nothing to do with the kids, right? That relationship is dead, but your responsibility is new, right? And you as a man have to lead by example. You should lead by example, right? Respect the mother of your children because your kids are watching. Your kids are watching how you speak to their mother, watching how mama is stressed out when she get off the phone with daddy. Kids are smarter than what we give them credit for, right? Do your part. I don't care if everybody in the world is acting a fool. Just like I tell my daughter, if she's in this house and she would vouch for me, I tell her we are the standard. We lead by example, right? As men, we lead by example. Period. There's no excuse, right? And I would also tell my sisters to continue to do a great job raising these children. Pray over your children. Always put God first, and you can never go wrong with that. So that's what I want to leave people with.
Just try. You know, that's the main thing for me. To men anywhere got kids, adopting kids, step kids, whatever the case is, just try. It may not be exactly what the mother want or the child want, but just try. Put the effort in. You'll find some happiness in it. You might think, oh man, I don't feel like doing this, or she want me to do this, but once you do it, and at the end of the day, you be like, I feel pretty good. That felt pretty good. Just keep trying, man. Put the effort in. It's Fatherhood is hard, but it's not that hard because it's there. There's so much happiness in it. Just try, man. If you don't think you're gonna be any good at it, okay, just put the effort in. Uh, I don't. Both of you gentlemen had a message for women. I ain't gonna touch that one. But men, just try. Just try. That's what got me through a lot of it. Is like, man, just keep going, just keep trying. So and all of that thought process of trying has put the entire situation into a better thing now, where every everybody can be happier than where we were, because just keep trying, and then your effort will be recognized. If not by the mom, then by the child. So just try.
I feel like try is just the general message here. Just try, show up, and be present. Different things work for different people. If one thing doesn't work, try another. I always say, remember, the same boiling water that softens the potato will harden the egg. So it works for different things. So I know a lot of you noticed we didn't touch on any subject regarding a baby mama. And that's because we're going to save that for another time, because co-parenting, baby mama, and child support would keep us here for another hour or two. And I wish Elante was on, because he's somebody that deals with child support and court system and that. But we're gonna bring him on for the next one. But fellas, I thank y'all for being on here. I thank y'all for giving me y'all time, and I say we do this again. I want to say maybe next month, but we still got our group chat, so we're gonna talk about it and bring in some more dudes, because I can have up to 10 people on here, so we can get real good conversations going. Next time, Shad is gonna find some lighting, and maybe we can start a GoFundMe, buy him some lighting off of Amazon, so that he can join us. Yeah, we see you, Shad. We talk about you and your lighting.
Oh
But
no. Hey, my daughter mom just called me on FaceTime. I think I'm in trouble. I hope she ain't on this live. Oh God.
I, I said next time we're gonna find you some lighting so we can see you when we do it next time.
I
But
just gotta.
fellas, I appreciate y'all, everybody that's watching. Thanks. This was season 2, episode 1, and all these fellas are gonna be back at the same time, separately. It doesn't matter, but they're all gonna be back. And until next time, we're out.
Stay black.
Thank you, fellas.
It's not illegal unless you get caught.
Whoa, that is not the message I want to go out on.
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
not